So today we're going to have a quick look at how Corallium works. So we're working with an early prototype here of the game, and we're going to run through how the rounds work. So here we have a setup example of a two-player game. If we look at the player aid, step 1 and 2 is that we're going to reveal fish cards and reveal coral cards. So these make up the available cards to bid and purchase. So along the top is the fish row, and along the bottom is the coral row. So these two steps have been set up for this round. Here is the red player area. So in this example, we're 3 rounds into the game. We already have a tableau of fish and coral, and we're going to play an example 4th round of the game. So if we look at the next step, step 3 is we place our fish markers. So each player has 3 fish markers, a small, a medium, and a large fish. And they're going to place those on the available fish for the ones they want. So for example, the red player, who is so far they're collecting neon tetra and blue tangs, they might want to bid on the neon tetra, so they would place their small fish. It will pass to the next player, in this case the blue player, who for example would bid also on another tetra. When it comes back to the red player, they will place their medium fish, and they'll place it on an available fish. For example, the threadfin butterfly fish. Then blue player will place their medium fish. And finally, the red player gets to place their large fish. Now, at this point, you can see that a lot of the fish are already taken. Now, if a larger fish icon bumps a smaller one, they can take that card. So for example, the red player really wants neon tetras. So if they place their marker here, the large fish beats the small fish, and they will bump that player off to the next closest location. For example, moving the blue player onto the puffer fish. If a player does get bumped, they get compensation in the form of pearls, which acts as currency in the game, which will later get to spend on coral. Lastly, the blue player will place their token. Let's say they really want this threadfin butterfly fish, so they're going to bump the red player off onto the next available fish, which is the clownfish. Because their medium fish was bumped, they'll gain 2 pearls to be able to spend later and put it into their personal stash. So just looking at some of those cards, all the fish have been placed, and now players are going to collect their cards. So the red player is going to get 2 neon tetras and a clownfish. The blue player is going to get a threadfin butterfly fish, a puffer fish, which is actually a negative scoring fish, and a mimic tang, which has a special ability. Any pearls at the top of the card will get collected. So the red player is going to get 1 pearl, so is the blue player. They will take them into their stash, and then they will collect their fish and put them in their tableau. So the red player is going to add 2 neon tetras to their tableau, and in this example we can see that 4 neon tetras are worth 8 VP at the end of the game. So that's a good move for the red player. Blue player is going to take their fish tokens back and put them in their tableau as well. Next, starting with the first player, you get to spend the available pearls that you've collected through the round on coral, which will give extra VP scoring at the end of the game, or abilities. So for example, this coral, if you have the most of one type of fish at the end of the game, gain 2 VP. So this could be a good choice for the red player, who spends 2 pearls, takes the coral and adds it to their tableau, because they are collecting the tetras. So they are quite likely going to win the most amount of tetras by the end of the game, so that will probably give them 2 VP at the end of the game. Each person can purchase 1 coral. Let's say the blue player purchases this one, and then basically you would reset the board. So that runs through the steps. We've placed our fish markers, we've collected our fish cards, and we've purchased our coral cards. So the next step would be to refill the board again and go for the final round. At the end of the game, you're going to work out all the victory points from your cards. So just to run through some examples, this one is a flat 3 points. The neon tetras are based on how many you have by the end of the game. The blue tangs provide scoring for who has the most and who has the second most. And as we said, there are some negative fish that you perhaps don't want in your tableau, although often they'll have abilities to make things better. Add the points on your fish, then add the points on your coral, activating any abilities. And then lastly, you get 1 victory point for every 2 pearls left at the end of the game. And the person with the most victory points is the winner. And that is the early version of Corallium.